Every city has an origin story.
Welcome to Quote the Queen City, where we peel back the pages of Cincinnati's history. In Issue 1, we're unmasking a trailblazing physician, educator, and tireless public servant who overcame personal hardship to become a giant in Greater Cincinnati.
Today, we unveil the origin story of Dr. Odell Owens. His tie to the Queen City? He didn't just live here, he literally helped bring a new generation of Cincinnatians to life.
This is Christy,
And this is her sidekick, Joe.
and this is
Quote
Quote
the
the
Queen
Queen
City.
City. Dr. Odell Owens was born on December 7, 1947.
That's Pearl Harbor Day. That's a heavy day to be born on, sort of like having a birthday on 9/11 today. He came into the world on a day known for tragedy, but he spent his entire life bringing hope.
To understand him, you have to understand the West End of the 1950s. It wasn't just a neighborhood, it was the center of Black life. Dr. Owens described it as a place where you didn't need the internet because you had the inter-auntie.
The inter-auntie?
Yes, he told a story about crossing the street when he wasn't supposed to, and by the time he got home, his mom was already waiting for him because an auntie down the street had called her. The entire village was watching.
And that village included Sands Elementary. This wasn't some rundown building. It had marble steps and terracotta detailing. It was a monument to learning.
Inside that building, a first grade teacher started an after school science club. Dr. Owens credited that specific club as the spark way before Harvard and Yale. That made him want to be a doctor.
But that village was under attack. The 1948 Master Plan marked the West End for destruction, what Dr. Owens called the Negro removal.
And tragedy struck his home, too. His parents were Odell Owens Sr. and Angelita Moreno Owens. Angelita was of Latina heritage, and Dr. Owens always said that the name Moreno was the source of his deep connection to the Hispanic community.
He actually carried a sepia-tone photo of her in his wallet his whole life. He used to say, "I was so proud at school whenever she'd come because she was always the prettiest mother."
That is so sweet. Oh, but tragically, when he was just 12 years old, she passed away suddenly from a ruptured aneurysm. She was only 29 years old.
29. He said his life collapsed. 1 year later, in 1960, the city forced his grandmother to sell their home, forcing the family to relocate to Avondale.
It was just one thing after another. The burden was immense. Trying to balance work and caring for his younger siblings, he actually failed the 8th grade at Walnut Hills High School.
Then came another major shift. In 1963, his father decided to move the family to Detroit, but his grandmother intervened. She knew Odell needed to stay in Cincinnati to reach its potential.
She convinced his father to let Odell stay behind. She arranged for him to live with trusted family friends in Avondale, Clinton and Catherine Buford.
Living with the Bufords changed everything. Watching Dr. Clinton Buford work in the community gave Odell the blueprint. But the road wasn't easy. In the 9th grade, a college counselor told him he was, quote, too poor and too dumb to go to college. I needed to take classes in shop, unquote.
That is such a horrible thing to say to a child. They tried to write him off, but Dr. Owens famously said, quote, that's what I want young kids to understand. No one should put you in a box. No one should write you off, unquote.
He refused the box. He liked to say, I'm not the diamond in the rough. I am the rough.
He transferred to Woodward High School and then Antioch College. But he knew grades weren't enough. He knew that as a black man in the 1960s, the bar was higher. So in his 3rd year of college, he made a strategic move. He went to study abroad in Uganda.
He did it because he knew he needed something undeniable on his resume. He famously said, a good part of my life was spent always having to be better just to be equal.
And that strategy worked. It got him into Yale Medical School. But let's look at the stats. Only 7 out of 100 students at Yale were black.
And he didn't just survive, he ran it. He was president of his medical school class and captain of the medical school basketball team. Sure. While grinding through medical school, he was simultaneously serving on the board of trustees at Antioch College and the executive committee of the Yale Alumni Board.
I'm sorry, medical school basketball team makes me giggle.
Me too.
Okay, so that is superhero capacity. And we have to mention a romantic subplot here. Ooh, it was during this intense time that he met his wife, Marshall Hall, on a blind date, the only one that he ever went on in his life. And to buy her an engagement ring, he sold his microscope.
Wow, that is definitely true love. They married in 1976. He finished his time at Yale by winning the Irving Friedman Award for being the best chief resident. From Yale, can you guess where he went? Say it with me. Harvard. That's right. He went to Yale and Harvard.
Do you know the old joke about Yale and Harvard?
What's that?
So a guy from Yale and a guy from Harvard walk into a bathroom, do their business, and as they're walking out, the guy from Harvard starts walking out the door, and the guy from Yale says, "Hey, at Yale, they teach us to wash our hands." And the guy from Harvard said, "Really? Because at Harvard, they teach us not to pee on our hands." That is like the only dad joke I know.
Oh, my goodness. And repurposed for a lot. Yeah, well done. That's cool. All right.
So, and again, he broke barriers, and he was the first African American to do a fellowship in reproductive endocrinology there, and only the second black fellow in the entire history of their OBGYN department.
But here's the real flex. While at Harvard, a fellow resident came to him with a pregnancy in her fallopian tube. Standard procedure would have been a major incision, but Dr. Owens had learned a new technique at Yale, laparoscopy, doing the surgery through the belly button.
And get this, that procedure had never been done in Boston or Harvard before. He performed it, saved her tube, and she was back to work in 2 days, superwoman herself. He was literally teaching Harvard new tricks.
But despite his immense skill, he faced intense racism. He told a story about a white couple in Boston who walked out because the husband refused to let a black doctor examine his wife.
But they actually came back because they were really desperate, and Dr. Owens treated them with grace and helped them get pregnant. And when that baby was born, that same father named him Michael Odell. Dr. Owens used medicine as a vehicle for social change.
He brought that skill home to Cincy in 1982. He performed the city's first successful IVF procedure and the first pregnancy from a frozen embryo.
And we have a Where Are They Now update. That baby born from that groundbreaking procedure in 1987 is now a healthy adult woman in her 30s.
Incredible. But he never forgot the students. For 31 consecutive years, Dr. Owens gave the very first lecture to the incoming freshman class of medical students.
He taught them that the white coat wasn't just about science, it was about service. We mentioned his wife, Marshall K. Owens, née Hall. She was a dedicated teacher who once bought a student new pants because he came to school with holes in his own.
They raised 3 children, Christopher, Justin, and Morgan.
I have to mention one thing everyone says about Dr. Owens. He always smelled really good, and he gave the best hugs, and it's very true.
I've heard that too. He was definitely a man of great warmth.
Dr. Owens eventually entered public service as the Hamilton County coroner. He set a record for the most votes ever received in the county.
He said he liked the detective aspect of the job, and he handled some bizarre cases, like the famous mummy case in Madisonville. He handled that with such compassion, focusing on the family's grief rather than the spectacle.
He also had a unique voice for the job. Some callers to a local radio station actually accused him of trying to sound like Barry White to seduce voters into passing a tax levy.
He really did have quite a smooth voice, but he used it for a serious purpose, fighting youth gun violence. Commissioner Alicia Reese recalled that Dr. Owens famously said, "I'm not waiting for the bodies to show up. I'm going to go out and save them from coming here."
He later served as the Cincinnati Health Commissioner, president of Cincinnati State, and chair of the preschool Promise. He said, quote, "I don't do anything by accident," unquote. Everything was intentional to lift people up.
His final job, which he said he knew would be his last, was leading Interact for Health, starting in 2016.
And then came his final mission, the COVID-19 pandemic. He was a superhero until the very end, joining Governor DeWine's minority health strike force to ensure equitable care.
His close friend, City Councilman Scotty Johnson, famously called him Double O.
Like 007?
Exactly, because Odell Owens, Double O, was always on a mission, whether it was fighting infant mortality or a pandemic. He was the guy you called when the stakes were high.
Sadly, Dr. Owens passed away on November 23, 2022, at the age of 74. Let's enter our final segment, the Hall of Justice, to see the monuments built to honor our hero.
Dr. Owens has a lot. In addition to his medical and public health degrees,
as we mentioned, he was the first African-American chief resident in OBGYN at Yale.
He was the president of his medical school class and captain of the medical school basketball team.
In 1976, he received the Irving Friedman Award for Outstanding Chief Resident in the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology at Yale.
He was the first African American to do a fellowship in reproductive endocrinology at Harvard.
In 1982, he performed Cincinnati's first IVF procedure.
In 1986, he was named one of the top 15 black doctors in America by Black Enterprise magazine.
In 1988, he achieved Cincinnati's first pregnancy from a frozen embryo, and that same year, he was named one of the 200 Greater Cincinnatians by the Bicentennial Commission.
In 1996, he received the Lincoln Award from NKU.
In 2004, he was the first African American to serve in an executive office in Hamilton County's history.
In his first election to coroner, he received the most votes ever received in the county.
In his second election to coroner in 2008, he received the most votes of any countywide candidate in the history of Hamilton County.
In 2020, the Cincinnati Chamber recognized him as a Great Living Cincinnatian, a title he truly earned.
He received the Legendary Lion Award from the Urban League and a Beacon of Light Award from Lighthouse Youth Services.
That same year, he was immortalized with a mural on the WCET TV building.
In 2022, the city of Cincinnati officially declared December 2nd Dr. Odell Owens Day.
He was an honorary Kentucky colonel, an Ohio Commodore, and was inducted into the Ohio Independent College of Excellence.
Posthumous honors include Lighthouse School in Madisonville being renamed the Dr. Odell Owens Center for Learning.
In May 2023, the Cincinnati Medical Association created their first ever Legacy Award, and Dr. Owens was the first recipient.
WCET named Dr. Odell M. Owens Community Service Hero Awards in his honor.
On September 14, 2023, the city renamed a section of Central Parkway Dr. Odell Owens Way.
In 2024, they named the Odell Moreno Owens Coroner's Office in his honor.
Also in 2024, he was recognized as one of the Men of Honor by the Men of Honor organization.
And finally, of course, he was a husband and a father, two of his most important roles.
Issue 1 is in the books. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next issue. Tell a friend.
Open up the cover, turn the first page slow. From riverbank rumors to the streets we know. Boots on the boardwalk, smoke from the mills. Every block got a backstory, every hill got chills. Wait for the reveal, hold the panel tight. Old names, new frames, all in comic light. Get caught the Queen City, caught the Queen City. We cracked the case wide. Caught the Queen City, caught the Queen City, where the Oregon lives. From Fort Washington to the market bells, from riverboats rolling to the legends they tell. Who named the place? Who drew the line? We peel it back clean, one clue at a time. Turn that page both the queen. Sing